So The Ringer is a website that was created by former ESPN employee Bill Simmons, and a couple times a year they put out their top 100 NBA player rankings. So for today's video, we're gonna react to it. So what is going on, everybody? How is everybody doing today? Obviously, it's incredibly tough to make a top 100 ranking, and ranking 100 guys, yeah, you're gonna be pretty upset with some of these. And it's cool because this was updated on February 14th, and you can see where they were at some points into the year. So they've done this at the end of the 23 season. They did this to start the year on October 18th, and in December, early January, and early February. And if you guys enjoy these, feel free to drop a thumbs up and I'll be able to react to the next one that comes out. And maybe I'll do a top 100 player ranking at the end of this season. I think that would actually be kind of cool. So we're going to start things off. D'Angelo Russell at 100. He was not on this last time, so I don't really know who's like an odd man out. So I can't really say that this is a bad spot. Colin Sexton at 99. I think I'm cool with Sexton being in front of D'Angelo Russell. I don't have any issue with that so far. Next up, we have Cam Johnson at 98. Yeah, I think he's in that same tier. He's kind of been all over the place this season, but he's been falling basically since December. Walker Kessler at 97. Okay, yeah, I'll have to see some other centers ahead of him, but I'm fine with Cam Johnson. You could even make an argument that D'Lo has been just as good as Cam Johnson this year, but we're splitting hairs, we're nitpicking here. Terry Rozier at 96. I think this is actually kind of fair. Terry Rozier has not been great since he got traded to the Miami Heat. He's basically been averaging 13.7 points, 5.5 assists, 4.5 rebounds, shooting 37% from the field and 23% from three. Yeah, he has not been great since the trade so far. I know he had an injury scare as well. But if you're going to also take into account what he's done in Charlotte, yeah, I think he's in that Colin Sexton and D'Angelo Russell type tier. Jabari Smith at 95. Shout out to Jabari Smith making it. I don't know who was a snub of this top 100, but I feel like Jabari Smith, like, 95th best player. Good for him. KCP 94, basically what we know him as a 3-and-D role player. I'm fine with this here. If you're looking at like a one-man player option or somebody that you need to score a bucket, yeah, I'd rather probably have Cam or Sexton, D'Lo, or Rozier over KCP. But what he does perfectly for Denver, 3-and-D guy, I'm cool with that. Chris Paul at 93. He's been dealing with a plethora of injuries this year. Like, Chris Paul has just played in 35 games this year. He's averaging 9 points and 7 assists. It is interesting to see him like ahead of D'Angelo Russell, just based off this season alone. So could this be a little bit high for CP3? Jaime Jaquez, 92. Okay, shout out to Jaime. I think I'd probably take him over most of these guys this season, but maybe I'm overrating D'Lo and Sexton just a tad bit. 91 Mike Conley. What he does doesn't really show up in the box score. He's just a team player. He's a smart guy, and I think that's why he's 91. Chris Paul's 93. They're leaders. They're floor generals. They're veterans. I'm cool with that. Nikola Vucevic, number 90. Yeah, I think that's fine with me. Vucevic is definitely ruined, or not ruined, but like lost his like appeal to me as a top like 100 guy. So I could see him being back towards the end of it. Isaiah Hartenstein. All right, as a Knicks fan, I love this. This feels a little high, but he has been a beast when he's been healthy in the absence of Mitchell Robinson. He's one of the better rebounders in this game this season, and he's been a great starting center since Mitchell Robinson's been hurt. He's going to get a ton of money at the end of the year. Nick Claxton at 88. All right, I think like looking at centers specifically that we've seen so far, I'd have Claxton better than Hartenstein, better than Vooch, and I think better than like Jabari Smith as a big. Kessler as a big. I know Kessler's taken a little bit of a step back this year, but I think I'm fine with this so far. Next up, 87, Emmanuel Quickly. Okay, Quickly, I mean, he's been fine in Toronto. He's been a little bit inconsistent, but fairly, I think, good for the most part. Interesting to see him like ahead of some of these other guards there. All right, so let's keep going. Number 86, we got Herb Jones. He's got to be higher. He's going to be higher. If we're going to value defense, and I'm sure there'll be some players on this list that are really high because of their defense, like, I think Herb Jones is too low. Like, he just locked down Tyrese Halliburton the other night, and obviously this came out before he did that, but he's been a defensive stud all season long. All right, coming in at 85, we have Jonathan Kuminga, who's obviously been phenomenal in kind of the second half of this season compared to the first half. Fine with that, he's trending up. RJ Barrett, 84. Now, RJ Barrett has been very good since the OG Anunoby trade, and since he got traded to Toronto. He's averaging more points, and the efficiency has gone up. 55% from the field from 42%, 40% from three from 33%. The free throws have taken a little bit of a step back, but either way, RJ Barrett has been very good since becoming a Toronto Raptor. At 83, we have Malcolm Brogdon. I'm fine with this here. I'm surprised they have Brogdon ahead of like Chris Paul and Mike Conley, but I get it. I get it for Brogdon now. Naz Reid at 82. Marcus Smart at 81. He's trending down. Obviously, he's been dealing with a ton of injuries this season. Jalen Suggs at 80 seems low, but maybe that's where he's going to be at 80 because of his defense, his high motor, his hustle. Same with Dylan Brooks for what he does on the defensive side of the floor. I honestly think Herb Jones might be better than Dylan Brooks. So that's what I would go with there. Kyle Kuzma at 78. I think pretty one-sided on the floor. The efficiency's been okay this year for the Washington Wizards. So I'm fine with that. At 78, it's not really translating to wins. Kobe White, maybe should be a little bit higher than 77. He's been phenomenal this season. He's going to be in the most improved player conversation. Austin Reeves at 76. Got off to a slower start, but has been very good since. Devin Vassell. I think this is where we can get into a tier of players. Like, I think Kobe White's been better than Vassell this year. I think you can make a good argument Reeves has been better. I think if we're going to value wins and that, because the Spurs have not been good, I could say Suggs has been better than Vassell this year, but Vassell's been good. Hero at 74. He's been dealing with injuries. Jalen Johnson has been breaking out for the Atlanta Hawks this year. He's at 73. I feel like Jaden McDaniels has kind of taken a little bit of a step back this season, at least offensively. He did have a good game the other night against the Sacramento Kings where you could see 26 points, and this came out before that. So I know the defense is there. He's a good three-point shooter. I just thought he would get a little bit more volume or just kind of progression on the offensive side of the floor this year. But he's still a good player nonetheless. And hey, if we're going to value defense, have him at 72. Caruso's good. Do I think Caruso's a little overrated? Do I think Jalen Suggs should be right where Caruso's at? Maybe, but Caruso's good. Miles Turner at 70. He's always kind of been underrated. It seems like he's been around this number throughout this year. Zach LaVine at 69. I mean, he's barely played this season, and I think this is a little high. I'd probably have him in the lower 70s mark. CJ McCollum at 68. He's still underrated in this league. Michael Porter Jr. at 67. Tobias Harris at 66. Oh, I don't like that. I think Michael Porter Jr. should be higher than him. I think CJ McCollum should be higher than him. I think Zach LaVine should be higher than him, and I thought Zach LaVine should have been much lower. Turner should be higher than him. I think Jalen Johnson, Tyler Hero. Like, what does Tobias Harris do better than Tyler Hero? Honestly. Like, Tobias Harris isn't this all-world defender. Reeves, I think, should be higher than him. Kobe White should definitely be higher than him. Yeah, that is gross. Why did they have Tobias Harris so high? Like, he just makes a lot of money. Anthony Simons at 65. I think the efficiency's been a little all over the place this year. He's dealt with some injuries as well, but still one of the better young players in the league. I don't think I would have him as high as 65 yet, but he's obviously trending upwards because of his age and his potential. You have Jeremy Grant at 64. I'm fine with like these Trailblazers kind of being in this area though. Brook Lopez at 63. Still like a really good rim protector. Offense though, maybe taking a little bit of a step back. Same with Middleton, getting up there in age, but he's dealt with some injuries this year. All right, so we got Fred VanVleet at 61. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, Fred VanVleet hasn't been, like, the most efficient player this year. He hits his threes, he facilitates, and has brought more of a, I guess, a different culture to Houston, so if we want to value that. Cade at 60 might seem low. Like, Cade is better than Bradley Beal, in my opinion, this season. And that's what this is off of, so I don't know if I agree with that. Aaron Gordon at 58. Yeah, for what he is, for the player he is, I don't think he's a role player. He's a really good player next to Nikola Jokic. I'm fine with him at number 58. If he was 48, I think I'd be okay with it too. Mar DeRozan at 57, okay. Evan Mobley at 56. He's missed some time this year, but still an incredible defender. I get that. Draymond at 55 is obviously defense is still second to none. Still one of the best defenders in the league at his age of 33. Jared Allen at 54 seems kind of low. Wow, if I reacted to this in January, 73. Allen's been good. Allen should finish top 5, 3-ish in Defensive Player of the Year voting. DeJounte Murray at 53, trending downwards. Okay. We'll see what other guards are ahead of him. You have OG Anunoby at 52. He's been hurt, but when he was healthy this year, he was like number 2 in Defensive Player of the Year odds, and he's been incredible since he got traded to the Knicks. Obviously, he hasn't played in a little bit because of the elbow injury. We got J-Dub at 51. Feel like he's better than that, but hey, maybe there's just 50 really good players in this league. Like Drew Holiday, one of the best like point of attack guard defenders in this league, is at 50. Mikal at 49. Honestly, this year, I don't know if I would have Mikal that high, but I get it. Same with Garland. Like, Jared Allen has been better than Darius Garland this year, and Garland's dealt with injuries. Franz Wagner at 47. LaMelo Ball at 46. He's had plenty of injuries this year. Triple J looks like he's fallen off a little bit. He was 29 back in October. He's 45 now. Kristaps at 44. Kristaps has been really good on both ends of the floor this season. I'm surprised that they have Julius Randle ahead of him. Julius Randle's at 43. I love Desmond Bane. I loved him out of the draft. I loved him all his time in Memphis. I don't think he should be higher than Randle and KP just for what they do on both ends of the floor and how it's impacted winning this year. Obviously, their teams have been healthier and better, but I don't know. I think Randle and Porzingis have been better. Derek White at 41. I love Derek White. I do. Who doesn't, right? He does everything well. I think this is high. I think this is high for him at 41. I think 45. Like, I don't know. I don't think it's maybe 41 is not high. I just think there's some guys after him that should be a little bit higher. I also think Jared Allen was disrespected a little bit here. We got Rudy Gobert at 40. Okay. Chet Holmgren at 39. I disagree. I think there's an argument for Jared. I mean, I'm glazing Jared Allen right now, but I think he should be maybe around Chet Holmgren, maybe a little bit higher. And Gobert is going to win deep boy, most likely. Surprised he's at 40. Wemby at 38. I wonder when they update this next in maybe the middle of March, if he's going to be, he might be like top 20, honestly. Kyrie 37, he's been phenomenal this season. Glad to see Kyrie fully back. Paolo 36, I think this is high. I think Kyrie's been better than Paolo this year. I'd even make a close argument. Wait, I don't know. I don't think so, maybe yet. But Paolo's been good. Some of the names behind him, though, are a little bit interesting. Like, I think Randall should be closer to Paolo, but Paolo's been a number 1 in Orlando, and he's helped them to be a consistent team. Sengun at 35, I think, is also a little high. I love Sengun, but I think he should probably be, like, I don't know if he should be higher than some of these other big men that were behind him. Siakam at 34. Scotty Barnes at 33. Okay. Ja at 32. I mean, he's incredibly tough to rank this year. I'm surprised they even ranking him. Zion at 31 also seems a little bit high for what he's done this season. But as we're seeing more point Zion, it's a lot more entertaining and I think efficient. Brandon Ingram at 30. Lowry at 29. Maxey at 28. All right. I mean, Maxey was an all-star. Lowry was a borderline all-star. Cat at 27. Seems high. I don't know, though. Jaylen Brown at 26. Okay. Harden at 25 is too high. I think it's too high. Harden's still a very good player, and his numbers are obviously going to reflect him being a third option in LA. But I think this year, Brown has been better. I think you can make an argument Maxey's been better. Markkanen, Ingram. I think a lot of those guys have been better than James Harden. He's a little high. Trae Young at 24. That's fine with me. Sabonis at 23. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I think Sabonis is underrated. Bam for what he does on the defensive side of the floor, 22. Paul George at 21. Paul George and Domantas Sabonis this year. That's tough. That is tough for sure. We got Dame at 20. All right. 19 Jamal Murray. That seems high. I mean, Jamal Murray's been good this year. Don't get me wrong. I just feel like if we're looking at it in a vacuum of just this season alone, I can get him being... I actually can't see him being higher than Damian Lillard. But obviously, Murray plays big in big moments in the finals, so I get that. De'Aaron Fox at 18. Okay. All right, Fox, I kind of like it, him being that high. 17, Anthony Edwards. 16, Jimmy Butler. This year alone, I mean, Jimmy Butler's having a down year, but he's still been absolutely incredible. Brunson at 15, I mean, I gotta love that. Obviously, the Knicks have not played well since this list came out, but either way, I'm okay with that. Mitchell at 14, I think, should be a little bit higher. I think he's been better than Tyrese Halliburton this year, for sure. I think he's been better than LeBron James this year. I think, make an argument, Anthony Davis. Devin Booker at 10, KD at 9, Tatum at 8. Perennial MVP candidate. Yeah, that's what people are saying right now. Kawhi at 7. I love that. I mean, obviously, like, Shea, like, we're looking at it this year. Like, he's been incredible, and he's number 6, and I'm fine with that. But, like, I feel like if we're looking at this year, Donovan Mitchell seems kind of low at 14. Next up at number 5, we got Steph Curry. Number 4, we got Joel Embiid. Obviously, injuries have probably dropped him a little bit. Luka 3, Giannis 2, Jokic 1. I'm okay with that top 5. But if we're looking at it just this year, like, alone... I don't know. I feel like Shea would probably be better than Curry. It's tough to have Embiid there. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of this top 100 ranking in the comments below. Do you agree with it or disagree with it? I kind of want to make a top 100 ranking of my own eventually. And if there was anybody that wasn't even mentioned in this top 100, please let me know as well. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Drop a thumbs up if you guys did enjoy, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.